Just reading a few of these Washington, D.C. laws. Yeah. hmm there's what's called the Address Confidentiality Program, administered by the Office of Victim Services and Justice Claims. Yeah. Be it enacted by the Council of the District of Columbia. Address confidentiality. Is a victim of covered offense or covered employee? Yes. You know, I noticed that somebody had made my wife's address confidential as well as my son's addresses. Because I have five sons, and when I wasn't a resident of Washington State, I wasn't given any notice or opportunity to be heard. Now I know you say, well, he's crazy, but he was a resident of Clallam County for a long time. Now, this confidentiality, exactly how did the sheriff give the confidential information of myself? Well, a participant's actual address shall not be disclosed under the Freedom of Information Act of 1978. The OVSJG shall maintain records of any certified or registered mail received on behalf of a participant. Yeah. I just want to know all the confidential addresses for the last 40 years. Now, you say that I don't have any due process rights, but there was a no contact order in place on Guam. Yes. And you can't have two protection orders. And I wasn't a resident in Washington State. Yes. Now, it says here the certification shall remain valid for 3 years. But the certification from the Department of Justice can be removed, canceled, if the participant's representative fails to comply with the requirements of this title. Yes. I think my wife failed to comply with the requirements of the title. Now, this District of Columbia, oh, do they know where she's at? Because I don't. And Clallam County seemed to think that you could make any person's address confidential without any due process to the respondent when arresting the respondent for the allegation of violating the protection order. Yes. Without the enforcement of the RCWs. You know, issuing the protection order in 2011, yeah, when I was doing 7 hours of parenting classes, yes, where there was really no reason I couldn't have talked to my wife and kids during that time, yes. I think that the participant that has participated in the confidentiality, I'm going to sue you for this. Yes, he is. Now, these laws, so in the District of Columbia, you know, I want to get every IP address of the District of Columbia's websites, yes, because they have a lot of these. The Maternal Mortality Review Committee Establishment Act, yes. Seems like somebody's been making a lot of laws. Now, I'm going to sue every employee of the District of Columbia. Ouch. And for every individual that happens to be an oath of office that just had to have a residence there from every state of the United States. Why don't you get me all their first residences, Congress, czars, executive branch of the White House? Did you say on your tax return that your residence was the District of Columbia? Or did you say your primary residence was the state that you were elected in? Now, exactly how much time every year did you spend in the District of Columbia as an elected member of Congress, as an individual employed in the Supreme Court of the United States? Ouch. As somebody that works in the White House administration for the last 40 years? Could you get me all the attorneys of the District of Columbia? Yes. Every lobbyist in the District of Columbia, the actual residence for the last 40 years of every location of every residence in the District of Columbia. 20 miles down, IP addresses, email addresses. In fact, why don't you get me all the rewards cards? No, okay. This is discover how other governments use the open law platform to improve lawmaking. Yes. With over 100 years of laws, hundreds of ordinances passed each year. Yeah. City Council dedicated to improving every facet of government. Yes. It became clear that the process of codifying and publishing laws needed an upgrade. The full story. Yes, yes, yes. Featured on State Scoop, Portland Business Journal, the Sunlight Foundation. Yes. Now, this open law platform, yeah, get me every IP address and get me all the IP addresses of GitHub, GITHUB. And then for every subscriber of every business journal, yes, put that in quotations, quotation, business, space, journal, quotation mark. Get me all the subscriptions to every business journal in this great nation.